You wanna record with mommy? Oh my god, I love your collar and I'm now. So hi everyone, welcome to the Political Bae YouTube channel. I'm Monet, aka Mo, and this is Bo. Yeah? Alright, so we want to get down now. Don't mind my aka Political Bae. So we're gonna call this episode 0 since I'm not necessarily talking about any politics right now. This is more so of a why did I decide to do the channel kind of thing, and I guess I'll say I decided to do this channel because, well, let me give you a little background. I spent most of undergrad doing medicine. I was a chemistry major freshman year, little known fact about me. And then I went on to sort of do some work in public health, which I enjoyed. I definitely did enjoy. But around my senior year, I had something tragic happen to me, and I really was like rethinking my life. And I was like, where do you really see yourself? Where are you happy here? Like, what do you want to do? And I guess this is something that everyone knew besides me, because when I made the announcement, everyone was like, okay, great, girl, we already knew that. Thanks for catching up. But I realized that I want to be an attorney, right? I mean, all of my extracurricular activities, speech and debate, the Black Student Union, different sorts of organizations have always pointed me towards, being in a position in the law or in the legal field at least. And I went on a law trip, and I decided in April, 2 months before graduation, that I was going to be a lawyer. So I needed to find a position at a law firm, and I ended up landing this really great position at an amazing law firm with amazing people doing great work. And literally my first 2 weeks, I realized there's so much about the law and about policies and just procedures and just rights that we don't know and we'll never really have access to unless we are in the position to sort of seek out that knowledge, or we're in positions where we need to know these things, right? And we don't want to wait until we get to court and then you realize well, one thing that I realized maybe 3 days in was that I live in a rent-stabilized apartment. I've lived in a rent-stabilized apartment for over 10 years, and I had no idea that I live in a rent-stabilized apartment. I had no idea that my mom's fears were irrational about calling the super and making repairs because she felt like she didn't want to be a bad tenant and would have to get kicked out. That is not a thing when you live in a rent-stabilized apartment, because you are entitled to repairs, you have rights, and you are entitled to a renewal lease every single leasing period. And so many people live in rent-stabilized apartments and they don't know it, or they, know that they do, but they just don't know the rights. And that's going to be a different video. We're going to break down all of those things and go through it, because I know there's lots of folks in this position and they just, are just not aware of what they deserve. So that's one of the reasons I decided to do the show. I really wanted to sort of give back to everyone. When I would tell my friends and family about the things that I was learning, I got really positive feedback. So I was like, shit, everybody needs to know this stuff. So that's why I did it. Secondly, I sort of wanted to document my journey, going to law school, just being a young Black professional in New York City, being in different spaces, being around different people, learning new things. I sort of wanted to take whatever knowledge I had and give it back to people, right? Because my light doesn't stop anybody else's light from shining. My yellow, orange, or purple light does not turn your light yellow, purple, or orange. You can have a green light, I can have a green light, everybody can have green, blue lights. It doesn't matter. Everybody can shine at once, and it's really not that serious, So I am a firm believer in whatever you got, each one teach one, and that's just it. So what to look forward to on the channel: we will have 3 playlists. It'll be politics, lifestyle, and inspiration. The politics part, you kind of have a good idea about what that's gonna look like. We're gonna really talk about local politics a lot, and hopefully national. We'll get to that point. And down the line, maybe when I'm more well-versed on a lot of the things that are going on in the world. We'll have an international or a global look at certain things, and which I think is like super interesting. I wonder if I can be a diplomat one day. I might. Who knows? But yeah, that's what the politics side is going to look like. You know, procedures, your rights, codes, things like that. Whatever comes across my plate that I think that people need to know about, or whatever you guys have questions about that you think that I should make a video about, let me know. We can also talk about cultural topics. You know, it doesn't have to be super, you know, heavy. I know a lot of people think politics is heavy, but it's really not once you really just like look at it in a simplistic way. We can talk about things that just pertain to the Black community, because I am, you know, very pro-Black. I believe in the saying that I am the political, so, and my womanhood and Blackness is my political identity. So that's what I am, that's who I am, and that's just the way it's designed. So we can talk about lots of things. One of my favorite things to talk about is patriarchy and my disposition towards it, and that interaction and how that plays out in my everyday life. And you know, white supremacy is also a popular topic on this end, so we can definitely get our hands dirty in there, and talk about anti-Blackness and how it functions as a fulcrum of white supremacy, and how what that looks like in our everyday life. And we can also break down what all of these, you know, ideologies mean. What else? Lifestyle. I'm a traveler, love to travel. I feel like I'm due for a vacation like last week. I also want to kind of document my journey studying for the LSAT, going to law school, my friends and my family. And yeah, in the inspiration portion, I'm very much so dedicated to self-actualization. I think it is such an important part of just being alive, period. What are you doing in this life if you're not figuring out or creating yourself as you go along, right? Like, we only have one life to live, and that might look like religion for some people. It looks like religion for me. It might look like, you know, being one with the world and the universe, and being just an active, you know, person invested in humanity. And then I think that that is a great way to go about your sort of self-actualization. Whatever works for you is what I advocate for. So however you can peel off the layers of the conditioning and, you know, the traumas of the world, and you can just bring out your best self, that's what I'm here for. I think that every morning and every night people should sort of reflect on today's work and reflect on what was done and what could be done better the next day. And I think that, you know, that's super important to sort of inspire the people around you. And if the people around you aren't inspiring you, then you probably wouldn't be around, you know, more people or new people, or bring those people with you to wherever you're going. So yeah, that's my channel. You know, like, subscribe, share. I think that's what the girls say on the internet. Follow me on Instagram, Monet Who Else. Also follow me on Twitter, Monet Who Else. But I'm sure if you type in Political Bae, I've like changed all my handles to it, so you should be able to find me somewhere. And yeah, that's what my channel is about. I hope you guys like this little introduction video. And you know, follow me on this journey. And remember, what should my closing thing be? We're gonna go with, remember, you are who you say you are.
When you say you gon' stay, tell me, do you really mean it, though? I'm pulling up on you right now, girl, up in the door.